I'm Calluna, and welcome back to Screenshots. So, the Gundam series has been a very popular anime series for several decades, and overall has been a pretty successful franchise. G Gundam, the anime series that ran from 1994 to 1995, had a bit of a mixed reaction both from North America and Japan. Unlike a lot of its sister series, G Gundam departs from a lot of the tropes associated with the Gundam series. It takes place in a completely separate universe than all the previous Gundam series, it focuses more on individual fights rather than full-blown military conflicts, and overall the tone of the show was less serious than its predecessors.
I'm positive this guy has acquired abilities of the Dark Gundam with the help of Kyouji!
This led the show to be kind of polarizing. People either loved it or hated it, but overall it was pretty popular both in North America and Japan. One of the unique things about G Gundam is a lot of the designs that they made for the various Gundams. In this universe, various countries have created colonies off of Earth, and to avoid war they hold a Gundam tournament every 4 years. Each country in G Gundam has a Gundam representing their country in the tournaments, and so we ended up getting a lot of really cool and unique looking Gundams. Up to this point, a lot of the Gundams in the previous series tended to recycle a lot of the same Gundam designs over and over again. Not that this is anything new for the more recent series. However, while there are a number of really cool looking Gundams, there are also a lot of them that are pretty poorly designed. I'm here to count down the top 10 most ridiculous looking designs in G Gundam. Let's get started. Number 10. Gundam Maxtor, Neo America. Now, this one is going to be a little different from the rest. You might be thinking, but Calluna, that doesn't really look all that silly. I mean, his shoulder pads turn into boxing gloves. That's kinda neat. And you'd be right. Gundam Maxtor is the Gundam representing the United States, and while the personality of its pilot, Chibbity, matches a typical portrayal of an American in anime, the design for Maxtor is rather boring by comparison. Come on, where are the obnoxious American flags or eagle missiles? In this case, I feel like the Gundam isn't as over-the-top or crazy as they could have made it, and that is just as ridiculous as some of the other choices on this list. Since it's just kind of a tame portrayal, it's starting this list off at number 10. Number 9. Mermaid Gundam, Neo Denmark. Yeah, this one is pretty stupid looking. It looks like the Gundam is wearing a fish costume for a strange Halloween party. It's also a bit of a stretch for its design. Hans Christian Andersen, the one who originally wrote The Little Mermaid, was Danish. So of course everyone would associate mermaids with Denmark. Right? Right? Well, as stupid looking as the main Gundam looks, this one is pretty low on the list because it actually does try to be an interesting Gundam in that it is a water-based mecha. It even transforms into a submarine. Not really helping your case here, Mermaid Gundam. So, although it does look pretty dumb in its normal form, it was at least trying to go for a different kind of fighting approach. Number 8. Jester Gundam, Neo Portugal. Okay, I get that the show was trying to incorporate different kinds of shapes and designs for the Gundams, but this one is just kind of impractical. Not only does this one look ridiculous, but its pilot is also a clown. The episode featuring the Jester Gundam is also one of the strangest in the series. Chibbity must face his fear of clowns in this match. Apparently his mother was killed by terrorist clowns when he was a kid. And so, of course, he ends up having to fight the clown-based Gundam fighter. It even has circus-themed attacks, and yet the show completely plays it straight. I can see where they were trying to be creative, but the execution on this one just didn't work. Number 7. Mandala Gundam, Neo Nepal. Again, like Jester and Mermaid, I feel like the design for this Gundam has a lot of really cool ideas, but they just don't work in terms of execution. The Gundam retracts the arms and head into the main body of it like a defense mode, with the bell serving as a protective shell. It then springs out like a jack-in-the-box for an attack. Unfortunately, it's just not very practical. It has no legs! It's nice that they were trying to go for the shape of the prayer bell, but it's just not a good design for a fighting robot. So yeah, another case of cool idea, bad execution. Number 6. Matador Gundam, Neo Spain. Everybody knows that Spain is famous for its tradition of bullfighting and the running of the bulls, so of course Japan would latch onto the idea of a bull motif for the Spanish Gundam. They might have taken one step too far, though. It's a mishmash of ideas that combines the bull and the bullfighter into one very disjointed mecha. When it is not bull charging, it's just massive and looks awkward. You can't just go for intimidation factor alone, guys. Number 5. Nobel Gundam, Neo Sweden. I have a number of problems with this particular Gundam. So, of course, the token female pilot gets the girliest looking Gundam. Fine, it's a little annoying, but whatever. This is the Nobel Gundam because, as we all know, the Swedish scientist was a huge fan of sailor uniforms. Right. The main issue with this one is that this should be the Japanese Gundam. I mean, look, it's a mecha version of Sailor V. She's got the blonde hair, the heels, the sailor uniform, and the beam whip attack. She even goes Super Saiyan at one point, and she's got blue hair. How isn't this the Japanese pilot? Most of the other countries' Gundams feature something involving their country, whether it's color scheme, attacks, names, etc. This one is literally just the girl Gundam. The color scheme for her Gundam and Domon's is exactly the same, and they even have some of the same attacks. And if you thought bunny boobies in Space Jam were weird, this Gundam comes equipped with robot boobs. Come on. Number 4. Gundam Zebra, Neo Kenya. Yeah, not much I can say on this one that isn't really super obvious. He's in tribal wear, has a spear, tribal disc jewelry, and it looks like it's going out of its way to point out that this is supposed to be a dark-skinned individual. Which makes some sense, I guess, until you take a look at the pilot. He looks like Kraven the Hunter. Also, those dumb zebra head shoulder pads, they don't do anything, they're just decorative. This is dumb. Number 3. Nether Gundam, Neo Holland. It's a windmill. A windmill! Ugh. Yes, those are a thing in Holland. I'm pretty sure Dr. Wily would call shenanigans. He kind of beat Gundam to the punch with propellered robots. 3 different times. As you can probably guess, the Nether Gundam uses wind as its main attack. To be fair, its main combat strategy is not fighting. Yes, it has a windmill mode where it disguises itself as a windmill. Shocking. And in the series, the pilot hides out until the finals take place, letting all the fighters eliminate one another. Clever, but still looks stupid. Any dumber and the pilot would be Don Quixote. Number 2. Tequila Gundam, Neo Mexico. Let's see. Mexican stereotype checklist. Sombrero, check. Bandito mustache, check. Cactus? Alright, yeah, sure. All he needs is a poncho and a bottle of tequila and he's all covered. Huh. To give them credit, they flesh out the pilot's character, though his story is him sneaking to Earth to make a better life for his family, which might be a little on the nose. I might be reaching a bit here with the story, but I mean, just look at this Gundam. Come on. They weren't even trying. So before we get to number 1, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to some honorable mentions who just didn't quite make the list. Oddly enough, they all kind of have a similar feature in common. I present to you the Ministry of Silly Hats. Okay, the last one's a little bit of a stretch, but to be fair, its pilot does look like it should be the paper towel spokesman of this universe. Number 1. Fuunsaiki. So, this is a support unit used by Maxtor Asia, the winner of the previous Gundam tournament. First, it's a horse. Well, unicorn, if you will. Not exactly sure how that ties into Hong Kong, but whatever. Who doesn't want to ride a robot unicorn? The design of the robot is one thing, but that isn't the entire reason why this is the number 1 on the list. Well, first of all, the way that Gundams work in this universe is that the pilots are wearing skin-tight suits that make the robots mimic the movements of the pilots, which is why martial arts prowess is such an important thing in this anime. So, you might be wondering, who's piloting the horse Gundam? A motherfucking horse! Someone decided to have an actual horse piloting the robot horse. It even gets a skin-tight suit. Even the most well-trained horse will probably get spooked by explosions. This only makes me think of one thing.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. I'm on a horse.
I just don't understand where they thought this was a good idea. Yes, you're gonna have a horse whose nervous system is connected to this robot? Okay, and what does this horse robot do? Oh, it helps them fly. Okay, great, but they already can do that. It's beyond useless. It's a horse. I don't know what else more I can say. It's a horse in a robot. Why does this concept sound so familiar? Oh, great. Now I gotta go play Robot Unicorn Attack. Be right back.
2 hours later.
So yeah, those are my top 10 most ridiculous designs in G Gundam. Are they the only ones? No, of course not. There are plenty of others that didn't quite make the list. Post in the comments below if there's a Gundam that you think should have made the list. I'm Calluna, and thanks for tuning into Screenshots. See ya!